Hey YouTube, it is Bryn.
And Casey.
Drinking some coffee. Also going to be learning how to play Sheriff of Nottingham. I have never played this game before. Casey, you're going to give me the rundown of why I should come into Roundtable and play it.
So, Sheriff of Nottingham is a really cool bluffing game where you're playing merchants trying to smuggle goods to the market through your bags and get it past inspection of the sheriff, and then whoever has the most goods worth the most money at the end of the game wins. It's really easy to pick up and play. It's a lot of fun, especially like if you're playing people you know pretty well. You can kind of pick out when they're lying or telling the truth. Pro tip, don't play with your mom because she always wins because she knows you're lying. So just to give a gist of how it's played, everyone will take one of these cool merchant cards, their merchant bag, and draw a bunch of cards and some coins. Yes, yeah. So the way a typical round works is someone will be the sheriff. So in this case, it is Bryn. Bryn's the sheriff. And so what I'm trying to do is take some goods from the cards in my hand and take them down to the market to sell. But they have to pass an inspection first. So you load your bag with cards from your hand in secret. It has to be, you can't put 0 cards, you have to put 1 to 5 cards in there. You can put any 5 you want. And so cards, there's legal goods, which are green. So you got apples, you got cheese, chickens and bread. But then there's also contraband goods that you're not allowed to sell, like pepper, crossbows, mead, and silks. They're all the red cards. They're worth lots of money, but you're not allowed to sell them in the market. King's orders. So what you can do is with cards in your hand, you're gonna pick 1 to 5 cards and then stick them secretly in your bag. Let's put another one there. Secretly in your bag, seal it up, put it here, and then you declare what you're selling. And then the simple rules are you have to declare a legal good, the exact number or the amount of cards you put in your bag, and only one type of good. So in this case, Bryn, I put in 4 apples.
Okay.
So everyone will kind of everyone will put in their bag with their goods in there, and then it'll be the sheriff's turn to decide who to inspect. So the sheriff will then pick up the bag and be like, and he can just send the bag along, or he can choose to inspect.
So everybody sends all their bags in at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going through each player, deciding if you're going to check their bag or not. What you do then is you can decide if you want to just send their goods and then they get their bag back and get to add their items to their market stand, or you can choose to inspect them. When you inspect them, first you can threaten to inspect them and then try to get a bribe from them. So yeah, so you're like, I'm gonna check your bag. Now, at that point, the player knows what's in there and knows it could be bad if they get inspected, so they could try slipping gold the sheriff's way, or promise them goods from their stand, or promise not to inspect their bag when they're the sheriff, so on and so forth. If you decide to inspect the bag, you will open it up and look at the contents. Now, if the goods in the bag are exactly as I promised, you owe me gold based on the penalty value of every legal good that I put in that bag. Yeah, sorry, there's a fistful of coins.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you would owe me the goods. Now, if you check the bag, you'll see I was lying. Yeah.
Apple, bread.
So, what happens then is, because I lied, yeah, I tried to sneak in a bread. What happens then is that I would get to keep the goods I legally claim, so I'd get my 3 apples, but you would get to discard my bread, and then I owe you the penalty amount. So now I'm paying you the 2 coins for the bread, and so on and so forth. And then I get to add these to my stand. Now, if you manage to slip in contraband in through the bag, you don't show people that you did, you just put it face down there. And so you kind of are trying to get as much goods as you can through the sheriff to have the most points in the end. And so like each of these has a value at the top, like silks are worth 8 gold coins. So chickens are a big cost one too. And then you add it up and then there's also bonus points. Like if you have more apples than every other player, you're the apple king. So you get extra 15 points, stuff like that. So
Points you mean points.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Money.
Well, each gold coin is worth 1 point at the end of the year. So yeah, so you're just trying to get the most points. Plays really fun. Plays like most deception games. Can get really mean as you manage to pull off some thievery. It's a great social game and where you're trying to bribe players to let your bags go through. And it's just easy to pick up.
My goal as sheriff is also to get as much money as possible.
Well, you'll only be the sheriff for 1 round.
Oh.
And then it'll go to the next player. And then we would both put our stuff into that sheriff, and that sheriff will inspect. And the game goes enough so that everyone is the sheriff twice.
Okay, so then whatever money I collect as sheriff, I get to keep.
Yeah. And likewise, you could use that money to bribe the next sheriff. Yeah, and so plays up to 5 people too, which is really nice because most games usually only cover a spread of 4, so this is a good 5-player game.
Family game? Kids?
Yeah, it's, kids I have learned are great at lying as well, so they'd be really good at trying to smuggle stuff in their contraband bag. Yeah, it's tons of fun, easy to pick up.
Awesome.
Highly recommended by myself and some of our staff, like Mac.
Awesome. Cool.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Awesome.
No Robin Hood.
All right, if you want to check out more videos on YouTube, hit subscribe. Otherwise, we're going to peace out.
Drink more coffee.
For coffee.